of that. We just had Cassie Smedley on, who is a Kansas City, Missouri native, and she is the national press secretary for the RNC. How cool is that, Missourians?
Very cool.
It's very cool. You're in the Show Me State. And Representative Nick Schroer on the first hour. We got County Councilman Mark Harder coming up here next. I blew right past. Oh, that was this is Temple. This is the Merry Christmas from Temple of the Dog, by the way.
Love it.
I'm copying off of Jamie Allman because he did it this week with Soundgarden. He played like some hard rock song. He was like, "Well, Merry Christmas from Soundgarden," you know, because everybody's playing Christmas music, right? We are too, but we're also mixing up. Yeah. Well, it's called Heaven, you know. Right. There you go. That's Christmassy, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
Christmas-like. Hey, let's do a little mini malpractice.
All right.
Now, the Tim Jones Show presents...
Someone believes some fake news story.
Especially by the media.
This is very dangerous to America.
The corporatist, globalist media.
Media malpractice.
If the Republican tax plan passes Congress, it will mark a watershed for the United States. The medium and long-term effects of the plan are clear. A massive drop in public investment, which will come on the heels of decades of declining spending as a percentage of GDP on infrastructure, scientific research, skills training, and core government agencies. The United States cannot coast on past investments forever, and with this legislation, we are ushering in a bleak future.
Oh, the horror! Armageddon. Fareed Zakaria just he had a meltdown. I played that in front of St. Louis County Councilman Mark Harder, who's joining us now in studio, because Fareed Zakaria could be one of the liberals sitting next to you at the council meeting talking about... Was that his his audience?
Applause, yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah, he has his audience he brings around with him. That's code words, right? A lot of code words there, right, Mark?
Yeah,
about investments and
from the past.
Right.
Yeah, it's a cut if we slow down government growth.
Exactly.
And it's all Armageddon at that point.
So Fareed Zakaria, famous water carrier for the left, went on his GPS. I actually saw that live today. He comes on. He's the last show of the morning. I think he's mad about that he's at the very end. Everybody's already watching football. But I had him on because I got to geek out and watch all this stuff. And he comes on with this long face. And he's like, this is a terrible watershed day for America. Investments of the past. I'm like, you just had Obama. Okay, Fareed. What about the shovel-ready projects of gazillions of dollars that were supposed to stimulate the economy? We were supposed to have this major rebound that we're having now under President Trump. We were supposed to have so Fareed Zakaria, take your investments in the past and the future and shove them where, because it's a false notion, isn't it, County Councilman Harder, that government can spend your way to prosperity.
That's right. And that's what we're facing somewhat in St. Louis County right now. And thank you for having me on your show, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you too, Mark. And so, Mark, tell folks, I don't know who follows what with the county council, but you had something weird happen this last month that hasn't happened in a generation before the county council regarding the budget. What happened?
Well, what happened is that our liberal Democrat friends on the council brought in an idea to cut the budget and to cut the growth.
Oh, don't say that while I'm drinking. I'll choke. Yeah.
Cut the growth of government spending in St. Louis County. So as a very conservative Republican, I can't say no.
You jumped on that bandwagon when it drove past your door.
That's right. And I tooted the horn.
Mark, what got into them, first of all? I have to ask you.
Well, this isn't...
Because the county's facing a little bit of a shortage, right?
Well, we're running a deficit. Every year this time, we work on our budgets, and we put together our budgets for the year. And every year, they put the best face on the budget, and then they go into our rainy day fund. And if there's a deficit, we use the rainy day fund money to balance the budget, because by charter, the county executive has to submit a balanced budget to the council for a vote. And we have an up or down vote by budget. So they've gone into these budgets and taken money for the last probably 10 years to balance our budget based on our savings. So suddenly it's just like your own home. You have a reduction in income, but you don't cut your spending. So you tap your credit card to make ends meet for the year
Until it runs out.
or the bill comes due for the credit card. So that's the way we've been living in St. Louis County. So for the first time since I've been on the council, we've decided as a council by a 6-1 vote that we are going to hold back $31 million out of the budget this year, and it will be held back and if the department heads can't live on that new budget, they can come to us and ask us for more money.
Okay.
Using a supplemental appropriation.
Okay.
So the idea is that we cut it back so that we don't have to tap our reserve fund to balance this budget.
And we'll talk about the meaning of cut in government in a minute. We talked about teeing you up in the first hour. We talked about it a little bit then. Let's give folks a little context, first of all. How many people, generally, population, St. Louis County of St. Louis?
900,000.
900,000. What size of a budget are you dealing with approximately every year?
700,000. 700 million.
700 million. Okay, so real money, right? So $700 million budget, and the projected shortfall for 2018 is what?
Projected is around 27 million.
Okay. So, that's not insignificant. It's doable, right? It's doable.
Right.
Now, explain to folks when government bureaucrats propose a budget. I don't know if this happens every year in every government institution around the country. I'm talking counties, cities, water districts, state legislatures, whatever. I think, Mark, the general rule is they always come in with a budget that's larger than the year before it.
Correct.
And did they propose a larger budget this year than last year?
Yes.
Okay. So when we're talking about a cut in government language, we're talking about not increasing spending perhaps as much as they would like to.
Correct.
Aha.
And in the case of this proposal, we are taking them back to 2017 spending levels.
Oh, how horrific.
So, that's why we're not calling this a cut. This is a holdback of these funds that they projected that they thought they could grow the government during the next year. So if we go back to our actuals are.
And how many budget bills, folks need to know this. I know this because I was in a legislature. The budget's not just one big thing, right, that gets dumped in your lap. It's a series of proposals for all the different aspects of county government.
Correct.
So how many do you have to deal with?
I think there's 35 or 38 budget bills. So every major department has a bill of its own.
Okay.
That way we can, if we don't like that budget for that department, say the health department, but we like everything else, we can approve everything else and hold over that one department until we can figure that out.
So out of those,
what it should be.
Out of those 35 plus some odd different bills from different departments, how many departments are you proposing that be affected by this not complete increase in their spending that they're calling a cut?
5.
5.
Yes.
Well, sounds pretty reasonable.
I mean, they're the five largest, or one of the 5 largest.
Because that's where the money is.
Right.
Yeah.
And we didn't go after this as a percentage. We went after the dollars.
Okay.
So we needed a certain amount of dollars. So we went in, and Chairman Sam Page and his folks went in and decided what dollars need to be held back. So what we did, like in the Parks Department, they had budgeted for a new recreation center for Greensfelder Park.
Okay.
Okay. They had budgeted for that in the coming year. Well, and while we met, we asked them questions. Are you going to build that and spend it? No, we're not. We're going to start the project in 2018, but we're not going to spend it all. So why are you budgeting it for? So we're going to hold back that amount of money, which is about $4 million, out of that budget until such time as they actually come to us with a plan for a new rec center.
And that officially, in government language, becomes a cut.
A cut,
even though it's not cutting back anything that was being spent the year before.
It was a proposal.
Right.
We're cutting back a proposal.
Yeah. So, folks, you may be like, your head may be hurting right now because mine is from this, because I never was on the budget committee in the House. I just put really smart people on it, and I knew enough about the budget. But this is what happens when you start talking government budget language, right, Mark? Right. Because there's all this language that normal people don't use when they talk about budgets, that government tries to pretend that there's a cut to services, right, when it's just maybe they're not getting as much money as they wanted for the next year. And let's remember, all of this is your money, folks of the county of St. Louis. They're talking about spending your money, right, Mark? So,
that's right.
Mark, let's get into some more of the specific cuts and like what the heck happens next. You've had this bit of a historic issue come up where Democrats and Republicans on the county council have said, "Whoa, Mr. County Executive Stenger, we're not going to approve this budget. We're not going to rubber stamp it. We're going to try to do the fiscally prudent thing here."
Correct.
So we'll talk about more of that when we come back with County Councilman Mark Harder on the Tim Jones Show right after this.
This is the Tim Jones Show.
This liberal will be all about taking over and the government running all of your companies.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
Watch the Mark Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
So I received the Brook linen bed sheets at my front doorstep, took them out of the box, felt them and said, why aren't these pants? Why aren't these shirts? Brooklyn and bed sheets, the most comfortable sheets you're ever going to find. And these are soft, smooth, silky, and will sleep you coolly. Beyond compare. Anything else. And speaking of comparisons, I put them on the bed, took the other sheets off, and I was like, I could sand wood with these old sheets for crying out loud. That's the comparison I made, and you will not want another bed sheet in your life after you sleep on the Brooklyn and bed sheet. Now, here's the deal. You can sleep on them for 60 days, and after 60 days, if you don't like them, you can return them. But here's the deal for you right now. Brooklinen.com has an exclusive offer just for you Allman listeners. You get $20 off and free shipping when you use the promo code Allman at Brooklinen.com. The only way to get $20 off and free shipping is use the promo code Allman at Brooklinen.com. That's Brooklinen.com, promo code Allman.
Men, are you tired of those daily blue enhancement pills that take days, weeks, or months to work, if they ever work at all? Listen up. Now you can take Red, the new natural male empowerment pill that works on demand. Even your partner will notice the difference the very first time you use it. To prove Red won't disappoint like the others, you're invited to participate in our nationwide I Take Red Partner Reaction Guarantee Trial. We're seeking participants for this nationwide trial, not only to prove it works the very first time you try it. We guarantee your partner will also notice the difference. Forget those slow-acting blue pills and join those who proudly take Red. Over 50,000 pills have already been claimed and supplies are limited. So to ensure your participation in this free nationwide trial, you must call now.
Superior virility on demand. You only need to take Red once to see what all the fuss is about. Call immediately to participate in our free nationwide trial. Call 800-662-3583. 800-662-3583. Be one of thousands to proudly say, I take Red. 800-662-3583.
Are you putting your retirement savings in a 401k, IRA, or investment account? Then I have one word of advice. Stop. Many experts warn of a stock market crash any day now. And if it's anything like the last two crashes, you could lose 50% or more of your hard-earned savings in the Wall Street casino. Can you afford to lose half of your retirement savings again? Hey, you don't have to lose a penny because there's a better, safer way to save for retirement. And you can learn all about it in a free report. This is the report Wall Street and big banks desperately hope you never see. Why? Because this method continues to grow your money even when the market tumbles. It lets you take back control of your money and finances, and it gives you penalty-free access to your savings. Plus, it beats the pants off any 401k or IRA. These are uncertain times, so get the information you need today to guarantee your retirement security. To get this free report, go to bankonyourself.com right now. That's bankonyourself.com. bankonyourself.com.
Hi, I'm Tammy of Tammy Mitchell Hines & Company Real Estate Team, and we want to be the realtors to help you buy or sell your next home. Are you thinking about selling your house? Well, now is the perfect time. Homes are selling faster than ever if they are priced right and well staged. We also know that buying a home is one of the biggest investments you may ever make, but that doesn't mean it has to be stressful. Our amazing team of full-time realtors can help guide you through the entire process from beginning to end, including setting you up with one of our 3 moving trucks so you can move for free. We are consistently ranked the #1 independent real estate team in southwestern Illinois. Tammy Mitchell Hines and Company Real Estate knows how to get things done. We sell a house every 30 hours. With over 22 years of experience, I am confident that we can help you accomplish your goals. I believe buying or selling a home is not just a transaction, it's a relationship. So whether you are buying a home or selling a home in the Metro East, go to calltammy.com. That's calltammy.com.
Janie Ullman in the morning.
Hey, Monday, all the nuttiness from around the weekend, people. Gateway pundit joining us, Rod the Bod, Rob Rains on the latest Cardinal moves in the 12 days of Christmas.
On FM News Talk
97.1.
Bells will be ringing, the sad, sad news. Oh, what a Christmas to have the blues. My baby's gone, I have no friends to wish me greetings once again.
This is the Tim Jones Show. Call now, 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Hey, back here for the Mark Harder Show. At least he wishes.
Thank you, Tim, for being on today.
That was perfect.
Did you bring me something now?
Yeah, Ken brought me a gift. I didn't bring you anything. Hey, I'm bringing you to my Christmas party this week.
That's right, and it will be a good one.
Very good. Yes, the annual Tim Jones Christmas party.
You going to tell everybody where it is?
The ones who know about it know where it is.
in the bat cave?
It can't hold my 90,000 million gazillion listeners.
That's right.
Right. But the bat cave. It's like Dr. Tobler's compound that he always talks about up in North Jesus.
The lair.
You know? The lair. I bet you he has a lair.
I bet he does,
You know
too.
he does.
Oh, yeah.
You can listen to him on Saturday mornings.
They've got old silos up there.
Yeah, that's right. 6 to 9 a.m. Hey, Tim Jones back on the Tim Jones Show. We got 10 minutes left, so stay right here. We're going to get through everything. First, I didn't get through all my clips tonight, but I'm going to do these 3 real fast. This Mueller thing stinks to high heaven, and we did get to that. We talked with Cassie Smedley about that from the RNC. But listen to what another great speaker, if I may say so myself, thinks about what's going on with this Mueller investigation and what would have happened if the law had been applied equally with the swamp. If the swamp creatures had applied the law equally to the Clinton crime family.
Well, this is undermining our system of justice. It is violating the law. It's very likely all of these people will end up going to jail. But imagine that the reverse had happened. Imagine that they had allowed the law to follow its natural course.
Exactly.
Imagine that you'd gotten a report last summer, or the summer of 2016, by Director Comey saying, well, you know, it's likely that foreign agents did get to her accounts because of the way she'd handled them and the way she'd broken the rules. It is clear that she was guilty of gross negligence, which in fact is a technical term meaning that she had broken the law. And if he had said, therefore, I am recommending that she be prosecuted, I mean, you would have blown the whole campaign wide open at that point. You probably would have had Trump winning with 55 or 60% of the vote. You'd have had a shattering of the Democratic Party. All of this is I literally, and I'll challenge anybody in our audience to find me a case where you have this kind of methodical corruption, this violation of the rule of law.
That's what is really going on here. The seamy underbelly of D.C. has been rolled over by the Trump train as it rolled past it. And that's why all these rats are scurrying around on the ship deck, because they've never had this happen before. And all of this was exposed, and this wasn't supposed to happen, folks. See, that's why this is all happening. Hillary Clinton was supposed to win. Donald Trump was supposed to lose. The Obama administration was supposed to carry on into its, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th years, courtesy of Hillary Clinton. And all of that, they really thought that was going to happen. And it's all been turned upside down. And so now the sunshine's shining in. And so now it's, all Trump. And he must have done this and he must have done that. He didn't do anything, okay? He wasn't in office. These people were controlling the highest levels of government. And this is what they did. And the other person who's being attacked over this, because she's having an effect and she's right, is Judge Jeanine Pirro. And this is what she said about Strzok being at the center of this FBI criminality.
To vote for changing the language from incriminating to innocent is Peter Strzok,
a button man in the crime family of James Comey. Strzok, the same man who oversaw the creation of the Trump dossier, the one bought and paid for by the Clinton team, and sat in on Hillary Clinton's interview, who agreed that her aides, Cheryl Mills and Numa Abedin, could be interviewed together, unheard of in law enforcement, and also Strzok, the one who interviewed Michael Flynn, the only one charged with anything.
Yeah, and so, County Councilman Mark Harder, this is what happens when government and government bureaucrats get dragged out in the sunlight and asked things that they've never had to think about anymore because everything was all cozy and they just went about and did their business. And just like what you're experiencing with this budget chaos at the county, no one's ever challenged, at least in recent memory, the county executive on maybe we need to look at things a little differently.
Right, and that's the tact we're taking here, is that over the last 50 or maybe 20 years, I would say, is that the county executive proposes the next year's budget, and it goes before the council, and our charter says the council can either approve it or disapprove it. And so what we've done is we said these certain items we're disapproving, and we're going to change it and send it back to you for approval. And he can veto it.
Right.
But we have 6 votes.
Right.
And
now,
so, it's a give and take. It's a negotiation.
Right.
Nobody is having more power over the next. This is a negotiation. We'll send it over, and he can veto it, but we have the votes to override it if it goes there. So that's kind of the overall procedure. So,
and before people say that the county council is going to put a bunch of coal in their stocking, as we approach Christmas, you were explaining to me during the break, no services are going to be cut. So if you had the service in 2017, you're going to have the service in 2018. Nobody's getting laid off.
Correct.
Nobody's getting a pink slip before Christmas.
Right.
You're just saying we're going to freeze some things, 5 things from 5 different budgets from 2017, and we're going to try to make up the difference with some economic growth, or we're going to maybe move the money around and prioritize. We're not just going to rubber stamp the county executive, and this is a bipartisan position.
It is. It is. So that's a good point in that we will cut this money in dollars, not by percents, but by dollars. Some of these departments we had were cut were projects, like a roundabout over by Creve Coeur Park. That was $3 million to put in this roundabout to connect a number of streets. It won't happen. We cut it out of the budget, and they'll just have to get by with a stop sign. So those kind of projects, we can take those dollars out and hold it back so we're not spending out of our reserve.
And the status quo of the world is maintained because...
And the sun will still come up tomorrow.
And it's still called a cut, though, right? Because you're not going to do it.
To some, that's called a cut.
Some that's called a cut. Yeah, okay. That's government speak. All right.
So that's how we looked at this. And there was a project in the Parks Department that was budgeted for this year, but it's not going to happen this year. It may happen 2 years from now, but they budget it every year. And then they look good at the end of the year. They say, well, look, we return this money back to the general fund. And it's like, well, it shouldn't have been there anyway. So it's this shell game of money and proposals, and we want to spend it. But if we don't get it, we can't spend it. And so what we're trying to do, as I said in the Post-Dispatch, it's like sending your kids to Six Flags, and they say, I need $125 to go to Six Flags. And he said, okay, how about we just give you $100? And if you need the extra 25, call me.
Great analogy. And I like you to use Six Flags. Thank you.
There you go.
It's in my old district and yours.
Missouri,
yes.
and in the 7th district.
So former Representative Doug Funderburk is a very good friend of mine. You know him as well. Mm-hmm. He said, tell Mark to go to zero-based budgeting and watch the department heads really explode. Yeah. That would be a sea change, right?
Yeah, we'd have people jumping out of windows.
But it's also called how everybody else in the private sector and in their family homes does budgeting, right? Government just automatically expects an increase every single year. And it's an increase in taxpayer money that they don't own in the first place.
Right. And we've been told for the last 5 years by our budget director, we're going to hit this wall.
So everybody knew this was coming.
Oh, yeah. This is every year we spend down, and we're getting closer and closer to a zero rainy day fund. And if we would have adopted the county executive's fund or his proposal, at the end of this year, we'd be down to like $6 or $8 million in our rainy day fund. And for a county of our size, that's infinitesimal. And that's going to then affect our bond rating and we don't want to be a junk bond status like other municipalities in this region. So
big vote on Tuesday coming up, right?
Big vote on Tuesday. If you'd like to learn more about it, come to our county council meeting. And this week, because of the holiday, our county council meeting will be 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, not at our normal 6 o'clock.
It's going to be some firecrackers, some fireworks, but I think it's good stuff.
I think, but I think we'll have the first time to try to get this budget under control, and we'll see how the year goes after that.
Folks, you can follow him at Mark Harder on Facebook. He'll keep you up to date on all of this. Mark, stay right here because I want to end on a high note, remind people the reason for the season. We're not here next week. It'll be Best of Tim Jones because it's Christmas Eve, for God's sake. So I'm going to give Ken, one night off this year, like Bob Cratchit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
But come in early.
Let's play. Yeah. I think we got enough time here, right?
Yes.
If I get right to it.
Yes.
Folks, this is the reason for the season from one of my favorites. All three of us here grew up hearing this every year. My daughters love it. My wife, Suzanne, Katie, Abby. It's a favorite at home. It's a favorite of mine. It's my gift to you. Let's play this, and I'll wrap it up on the backside.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? Sure, Charlie Brown. I can tell you what Christmas is all about. Lights, please. And there were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
That's what Christmas is all about, Mark Harder.
It is.
Yes.
It's the only reason.
That's right. Merry Christmas to you, my friend, and your family.
Merry Christmas to you and to our illustrious engineer here this evening.
Ken, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Speaker, to you and your family, and to you, Mark.
All of you and all of yours. Andrew, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Thanks to all of you. Merry Christmas to all of you out there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for making this show the great show that it was this year. We promise to bring you lots more in the new year. We'll be back live on New Year's Eve on the Tim Jones Show. Katie, Abby, Suzanne, be home soon, ladies. Love you lots. Merry Christmas, all. And to all, a good night.
The Tim Jones Show.
It doesn't matter where you live in the bi-state area. Affordability